Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Holly, and in today's video, I'm going to go over how I do my own dehydrated backpacking meals, which is a little bit different than how almost everyone else you're going to see on the internet does them. So, okay, almost everyone else you're going to see who does their own dehydrated backpacking meals makes meals and dehydrates them. That's not what I do. And I'm not going to show you how to dehydrate food here. There's plenty of videos out there, plenty of people who that is their entire channel is just about dehydrating food, and there's some great ones out there. So with all that being said, what I'm going to tell you is that I dehydrate ingredients, and then I put together a meal in one bag with those ingredients, which means I can mix and match a whole lot more. I'm not just stuck to, oh, I have chili and I have spaghetti and marinara. No, I've got marinara, I've got pasta, I've got beans, I've got hamburger, I've got tomato sauce, I've got onions, I've got mushrooms, whatever. And then I can make up whatever I want of all those ingredients. So, for example, I have spinach here. Just dried spinach leaves. I have Italian cheese, Italian shredded cheese. These are carrot matchsticks. This is ground turkey. Granny Smith apple slices. Red pepper slices. Sauteed mushrooms. I will tell you, don't saute anything in any sort of fats whatsoever. Fats do not dehydrate well. They will go rancid. So if you need to put anything in the pan with anything you're sauteing, like onions or celery or carrots or mushrooms, just put a little bit of water and that will evaporate out as you're dehydrating. Here I've got sour cream, believe it or not, just low-fat sour cream. You spread it out in the trays, let it all dehydrate, and then put it in a blender and get it all crumbled. Diced sweet potato. I boil this first so it's already cooked. Imitation crab sticks. Riced broccoli. Just regular long grain rice, already cooked. This was some left over when I had made dinner one night and I had rice left over, so I just dehydrated it rather than put it in the fridge. And so this is basically instant rice. Sliced carrots. Diced red pepper. Sliced black olives. Okay, you notice I have all different sizes of jars here. Oh, and this right here, this is pizza sauce in little rounds, which will be exactly enough to cover a street taco. Oh, I use Mission street tacos. Now, this is not how I'm going to package this. I will grind it up. But this way, it is already measured out. I know if I take 2 of these and grind them up, I can make 2 little street taco pizzas. And these are all sealed. Obviously, that one's not sealed anymore. So they're all airtight. And I'll show you some examples of what I can do, or how I do these. Let me get these out of the way. So these are some of the meals I made up, oh gosh, last year, maybe even year before last. Actually, I think it was 2023 I made up these meals. So this one is, on this side, packaged separately, is orecchiette with marinara pasta sauce. On this side, packaged separately, is hamburger, green pepper, mushrooms, black olives, and sweet onions. And so when I open this up, I'll just pour all of this together into the pot if I'm going to boil it, or into my container that I'm going to put boiling water in and let it rehydrate. Pasta's already cooked, so there's no cooking involved. Everything is already cooked. And all my spices have been added in and everything to these individual, well, actually it's not, the hamburger is sealed up separately because I always seal up the meat item separately just in case it goes rancid. But the green peppers, mushrooms, black olives, sweet onions, and some of my spices are all just in another little package that's sealed up separately. Let's see. This one is chicken in this little package, peas in this little package that's inside of here, and then in this side over here, it's stuffing and buttered mashed potatoes mixed together. So this is basically like a Thanksgiving dinner in a bag kind of thing. This is miso, aka miso, which is red miso, I think. Aka, yeah. Red miso. In this little package here is the miso. I buy miso paste, so what I do is I do an individual serving spread out on a sheet in the dehydrator, and then I powder it once it's all dried. So that's the miso. In this little package is some, let's see, that looks like some mushrooms and some seaweed and some soy sauce, not soy sauce, sesame seeds. In this little package is dehydrated shrimp. So small little shrimp, I get the smallest you can get, pre-cooked, detailed, deveined, all that stuff, and then just dehydrate them. I cook them, I flash cook them really quickly, just in boiling water, and then dehydrate them. And then salmon noodles, because they cook up wicked fast. You just can put them in boiling water, and that's good. Now, if I don't want to have the meat separately, like as in this, I have the shrimp. Here's another package that's the miso. You can see a little bit of the red miso powder through there. Salmon noodles, again, some mushrooms, some seaweed, and a few other things in there. Oh, green onions. And I can add this with a package of salmon. This is kind of like mini burritos or tacos or whatever. So in one package I have black beans and Mexican rice. And then in another package I have cheddar cheese. And I believe inside of there is also, nope, I did not put it in there. Okay, so black beans, Mexican rice, and cheddar cheese is in this package. And I have plenty of little packages of just hamburger. This one I wrapped in wax paper so it didn't, the hamburger can be like sort of like crunchy bits and it can poke through this plastic. So I just would put this with a package of hamburger. If I wanted hamburger with it, I don't have to because it's got black beans in it. And I have a package of, I don't think I have a package of sour cream in here in this, but I do make up my own packages of sour cream. And then, let's see, what's this one? This one is red lentil couscous and kale, which I dehydrated. The kale, I mean the couscous is not something I dehydrated. And then in this package in the back is, I believe that's lamb. So red lentil couscous, kale, and lamb. Here's a package of Morocco stew, which this is definitely lamb in here. Actually, no, on this side is the packaging of lamb, and on this side is the packaging of the Moroccan stew. Now, the Moroccan stew I did actually make up as a stew because I was making it for dinner for myself one night. And I took some of it out to dehydrate before I put the meat in the stew that I was eating that night. So this Moroccan stew was already made up, which is why it's really, really small, because a serving dehydrates down wicked small. Now you can think outside of the box here with these, and sometimes you can do things like, let's see, what is this? This is, okay, Bear Creek. I love this Bear Creek. This is creamy potato soup, this one here. But what I have here is 2 servings of cheddar potato soup. So this is, you know, a double serving cheddar potato soup. And then I have dehydrated bacon that I did that I will add into that cheddar potato soup. Another way to think outside the box in a way is, okay, so for instance, this pizza sauce will get ground up into a powder and packaged in one of these little foil packets like this. This is a package of pepperoni. They come in, I think this is Hormel. It comes 2 of these packets to a little box. So I've got my pizza sauce, my pepperoni, some street tacos. I can add some black olives. I can add some red diced pepper. I can add some mushrooms. And I've got my cheese here. And there you go. I could package that up as pizzas. Let's see. I also package up my own individual servings of things. Again, so I don't have to plan stuff necessarily until I'm actually hiking. And then I can go into my boxes and figure out what I want. This is peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. Street tacos. Here you go. You got peanut butter fluff and nutter sandwiches. This is Nutella. This is Parmesan cheese. I might throw that in with the packaging I'm making of a pizza. Or I might throw it in with, I probably would throw it in with this orchetti. This is ghee, which I use in place of butter because it's shelf stable. My own little packets of olive oil. This is chicken gravy. So I would put this in with that Thanksgiving dinner thing. Although I think, yes, I already put the gravy in this actual whole package, so I don't need to add it to that. But it was probably an extra one I had when I made that one up. Let's see. What's some other things I do that... okay, so along with Bear Creek's creamy potato and cheddar potato, I also like their darn good chili. So here I've got, this is one and a half servings of the darn good chili. I could maybe add some cheese to that. I could maybe add some mushrooms if I wanted to. You know, I can add all kinds of things and mix and match how I want. I'm not stuck to just one thing. I do want you to kind of think outside the box some. You don't have a dehydrator? Okay, fine. But there are a whole lot of things you can get instead of Knorr sides and ramen. Just like a lot of different things. And I'm going to show you some. These are from a local, Ocean State Job Lots. I don't know if they have them where you live, but it's like basically a discount store. And they, for some reason, have all sorts of weird food items. And I don't mean weird as in that nobody's going to eat them, but things you don't normally find in the grocery store. I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they get them. But they have a lot of this brand called Alessi. So this is Neapolitan bean soup, and this is risotto with cheese and black pepper. Now, both of these are good. This one has 3 servings. This one has 4 servings. You can break them up however you want. All you're going to do is add water to them. I think the risotto, you actually are supposed to add butter, so I would add a packet of ghee with this. And these are absolutely great. And you could add meats if you wanted to as well. You don't have to just have this. If you wanted meats, I could add ground turkey to this Neapolitan bean soup. That would be great. Let's see. What's another thing I could add? Okay, this is dried pork. I got this at a local Asian store. This is just shredded dried pork. This is what one serving ends up looking like in a little vacuum bag. I could add this dried pork to the risotto. Let's see. Okay, again, stop with the Nor sides and the ramen. There's a lot of other options. White rice. You can probably get this in most grocery stores. This is Mediterranean rice. It's not just like white rice. It's Mediterranean rice, so it's flavored. And this is made from vegetables. And so it contains 11 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, and only 24 net carbs. So the fact that it's got that much protein is great. Quinoa. I mean, quinoa cooks wicked fast. You don't need to boil it necessarily. You can just put it in boiling water and boom, it's done. And you know, it's certainly higher in protein, 6 grams of protein in a serving versus rice, which is only like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 grams of protein, 2 grams of protein. Cauliflower rice. You can get instant cauliflower rice. And this is, what's the count on this? Yeah, 13 grams of protein in a 2-ounce dry serving size. This is red lentil flour couscous. I use this in, I got that in one of these meals with the kale and lamb. Actually, that might be Spam. Never mind, that's diced Spam I dehydrated. And then regular couscous. This is roasted garlic and olive oil. Couscous is couscous and lentils and quinoa are great options instead of Nor sides. And you can put whatever kind of spices you want in them. Make them however you want. Add whatever you want. These are soup mixes I picked up. This one contains 3 servings. This one contains 2 servings. This is red quinoa and veggie, and this is creamy broccoli and potato soup. Again, this would be great with a dried pork or even a chicken packet or, you know, tuna packet or something. And these are, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of calories in these, but you add your protein, you add your olive oil or your ghee or whatever to boost up the flavor a little bit, and they're just such better options than Nor sides and ramen. And I'm not knocking Nor sides or ramen. You know, they're easy, quick. You don't have to think about them. But yeah, so these are some of the options I do. Let's go over to my kitchen counter and we shall put a meal together using some of my already dehydrated stuff, okay? Okay, so I've decided not to do it on the kitchen counter because the sun coming in from the great room windows is too bright on the counter, so we're going to do it right here. And the first thing I want to do is show you that what I do is for all of these items, I know what the weight was before I dehydrated it, and therefore I know how many servings there are for nutritional value. So then once I dehydrate it, I measure all of it again and then divide it by that number of servings. And then I know how many grams I have to put in for each of my dehydrated meals to have 1 serving of whatever the item is. Now, some of the items I'm not as concerned about. like, but I want to have a good ballpark figure of what the nutritional value is of any meal that I make. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a package for making pizzas. So I already showed you how I have these set up. And what I'm going to do is take 2 of these, which will be enough for 2 street taco pizzas. And I know you probably think that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I am old, so my metabolism is very slow, and I don't eat a whole lot, generally speaking. I have a half a sandwich for lunch, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so for the pizza sauce, what I'm going to do first is break it up into, and I don't have to do this. It's not too terribly sharp. I could just leave it as is and break it up like this. In fact, actually, you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do, because I'll lose quite a bit of the powder when I do this. So we're not going to do that. We're going to just do it just like this. So the rest of the ingredients I have to weigh. So I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to break this up a little bit more. And now I'm going to weigh the ingredients that I'm going to add in. So I've got my pizza sauce in there. And now I need 4.3 grams of black olives. Let's tear this down to 0. Oh, hold on. I've got to get my opener. I thought I had opened all these already. Okay, so what did I say? 4.3 grams. So I'm going to just put 4 grams in there. Wait a minute, why is this not? Okay, that's not right. Okay, so actually I'm going to only put 2 grams in there, because that's not right here. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and dump the tomato sauce in there. And I don't think I'll need 4.3 grams, but let's see what 2 grams looks like. Oh, there we go. It just wasn't measuring very good. All right. There we go. Oh, actually, I need to double that because I'm making 2 pizzas. Well, I think that's enough I think that's enough black olives though for 2. Oh, another one that hasn't been opened yet. Oh. Mushrooms, I need 2.4 grams. And we'll go with 3 grams. That's probably good enough.
And red pepper, 2.3 grams. Really, I'm going to go based on how much, what it looks like. Kind of like how much do I want on a piece of pizza. And I think that's actually probably pretty good right there for 2 of those little pizzas. Now all of this I will seal up as is. Because I don't want the cheese to be with it when I rehydrate it. So for the cheese, I need 14.5 grams, and I am probably going to do the full double size, 28 grams. Okay. Actually, it's 29 grams because it's 14.5 per serving. So there we go. I'm going to put this in this bag here. Oops. Oh, goodness. I made a mess. I'm making a mess. That's okay. I just wiped this table down. It's perfectly clean. So... we will seal that up in a minute. Okay, the next meal I'm going to make is a broccoli crab salad. I will probably have this for lunch one day. Okay, so first I have the imitation crab, and I cut it this way mostly because I will probably make some like deconstructed California rolls with it. So rice, this, some matchstick carrots, and seaweed chips. And then, you know, if I'm hiking somewhere where I could pick up an avocado, or it's just a day hike, I can take half an avocado with me. So I need, whoops, first we gotta tear this. I need 19.5 grams of this, and that would be equivalent to about 2 full crab sticks. Oh, there we go. Oh, my battery's low. Oh, good grief. I'm gonna have to fight through this now. I don't know. Let me see if I've got batteries. Hold on. Okay. Not sure how long these batteries will last. Okay, so for broccoli, I need 14 grams. And this is a riced broccoli. It already has been, blanched. So I kind of want it raw for this salad. right in the bag with the crab. And now I want 2.5 grams of sliced carrots. Oh, goodness. I have a problem with it measuring again. There we go. That's probably plenty. And I want 12.75 grams of sliced apples, which is about, for this particular apple, is a quarter of an apple, a quarter of a Granny Smith apple. There we go. Okay, now what I'm also going to add to this is some pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to do less than a full serving of pumpkin seeds because a full serving is 1/3 of a cup, 26 grams. I don't want that much in there. Oh, I got to grab scissors. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it about how much I would want in a serving of this. And that's probably about right. And so I'm going to write down how much I put in there. Oh, I don't want those in there. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. I want to keep the seeds crunchy, so I don't want to put them into soak. So, then I also have this Mediterranean style salad topper. And 1 serving of this, oh, I didn't cut far enough down. One serving of this is 7 grams. And this is kind of, it looks like it needs to be shook up because it looks like all the garbanzo beans are on the top. There we go, 7 grams. It looks like I hardly got any feta cheese. Maybe I'll take a couple pieces of the feta cheese out. This is dry feta cheese. Like a few pieces of that at least. There we go. Throw this in here as well. You know what? I think I'm going to get a smaller bag because I don't need that big of a bag for it. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult to put in there, so I'm going to just do it with my hands. This is such a small little bag. And pumpkin seeds. Maybe this one's too small, maybe. I'll get it all in there. Okay, and then finally what I'm also going to add to this is a little bit of nutritional yeast, and I don't think I can shake in there because it's pretty full, so I need to get a spoon. Okay. Just going to put a teaspoon of nutritional yeast. And then seal this bag up. And then this bag will go inside of this bag. And the other thing I will put in there is a packet of mayonnaise. So this is all ready to go. I will put the water in this bag and soak these items until they're rehydrated. Add in the mayonnaise, stir it up, and then sprinkle all of this on top. I'm gonna slide that over to the side a little bit. Okay, let's go seal these two bags up. Okay, so I decided to take the mayonnaise out of this and just have it separately. And as you can see, it's not completely shrunk because this piece of apple, I don't know if you can see it, poked a tiny little hole in there. A lot of times, I think you saw before I wrap stuff in wax paper, I should have done that with these apples because they do have sharp edges. But this will be perfectly fine. You know, I'll use it in the next couple of months anyway, so it'll be perfectly fine. This one's sealed good, and this will go with a packet of pepperoni and a couple of these, and that will be 2 little pizzas for dinner one night. And this will probably be a lunch, you know, something that's cold, but not doesn't require any cooking, just cold soaking. So that does it for this. I hope you learned something here, or I hope I gave you some ideas. Again, I don't like to dehydrate meals. I would much prefer to dehydrate individual items and then mix and match them as I want. You know, like I said, now this crab I can use in maybe some miso soup, or maybe put it, again, make deconstructed California rolls. The broccoli, I can add some of this into just soup. You know, there's lots of stuff. Sliced carrots, I can add this into soups and stews. Same with the peppers and the mushrooms. You know, I'd much prefer to do individual items and then go from there and build meals as I want. If you have any questions, please do put them down below. Happy to answer any questions for you. Again, if you want any, you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there about dehydrating any kind of food at all and how you can best do it. All right, well, that's it. Thanks very much for watching and have a great evening. Bye-bye.